Hey, this is Jordan Belfort, the real Wolf of Wall Street, and you're listening to the Anthony Rogers Show.
Use promo code Anthony Rogers for 15% off.
Roughneck Beard Company and American Rambler make the absolute best in all-natural men's grooming supplies right here in St. Louis. Using only high-quality, ethnically sourced ingredients, every product has a place in your daily routine and packs an extra benefit. Pre-shave, aftershave, or no-shave. Tattoo aftercare that speeds healing naturally. Hair styling products that condition. Things to make you smell good and feel good. Make sure to try the junk powder and keep your junk feeling fresh and pH balanced. You can buy online or at the shop in downtown Maplewood. Shipping is lightning fast. Get yours today.
Use promo code Anthony Rogers, one word, for 15% off.
This audio session was recorded for you. Please use headphones and listen carefully.
This call is now being recorded.
Welcome back to the greatest show in the universe. In studio, we have Brad.
What's up, bitches?
On the line, we have very funny comedian Kevin Gootee. He's probably the funniest comedian in the world right now, right? Is that what we're saying?
That's a hell of a compliment. I don't think I can accept that compliment. There are thousands of people funnier than I am, but I'm the guy here in the world right now, so I'll take that.
He's humble as fuck too, like funny and humble.
And they're also not on the show, so I mean, you already got a leg up on them. Yeah, I win, they lose. Too bad.
So before we get into the fucking million things you do, how did you get involved in comedy? First off, we'll go with that.
How do you get involved? You just show up at an open mic and just keep coming in there. That's what you do. It's not really. No, not like people in general, like you. Yeah, what led you to start doing stand-up comedy? Was it come from a dark place and you just made light of it, or what happened? No, I'm not. I'm one of the rare breeds that's not one of these divorce. What the fuck is wrong with me? That's one of these depressed comics. I'm actually, I don't know. I've got a day job, a corporate American gig. I'm not depressed. No, I just did it because I think I'm a funny dude, and I had it's pretty funny with all my friends and every other aspect of life. People were like, "Hey man, you consider doing comedy?" And I didn't start till I was 32, so it's.
How old are you now?
33, 43. I just turned 43 last week, so.
Cool.
Yeah. And say, if you said 33, I'm like, why is he on the show again?
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say it's crazy, man. You just, I like the concept. I did not watch this, dude. I just found out about you, and I'm kind of impressed with what you're doing and shit. You have I need to check this out. I'm saying, I'm being real. I'm not gonna host wild fucking time. I'm being real. Watching comics since 8 fucking seasons on Amazon right now, and the concept, from my understanding, is basically you get comedians around, and you guys just kind of roast the new guys coming out, kind of roast the other comics and shit.
No, it's a lot deeper than that. That'd be a shitty thing to do, is just sit there and shit on comics performing. I mean, the goal is it's a competition. It's we sit there, we watch their performance, we praise, we critique, we offer advice, and then if they're terrible, we have been known to shit on people, but that's not the crux of the show. At the end of every season, we pick a winner to go to the live showcase we did, which was at Gotham Comedy Club a couple of years ago. So
badass, dude.
If you get it off of Amazon, you get onto a huge network, so we can make some real stupid money, so I can get out of corporate America for the love of Christ.
No doubt, man. I think that's that's the game. It's it sounds like you're doing a lot of shit on top of your job, which is good. The fantasy football is a good market too. I think you hit 2 good markets, in my opinion, of just how basic business understanding. I think being a comedian, going into fantasy football, it's genius. Podcast too.
Yeah, fantasy football has a huge pull. I don't really personally get it, but everybody in my work is it's all half of our fucking emails is fantasy football stuff.
Yeah, and that's fantasy football jibber jabber.
Yeah, that's the show. I just actually a few seconds ago editing it. It's the comedy. What makes it different than everything other fantasy shows? There's fantasy shows that you do watch or anything like that. They're usually by a bunch of guys who know their stuff, but they're boring. They do the fake laugh, like the NFL pregame guys. They do the fake laugh. They talk over each other. They're boring. Where the difference is, my buddy and I, as a comic, we co-host this. We're comics. We make jokes. And the second thing too is that we're different because we also do NFL handicapping. So we give you our picks as well as fantasy football at the same time. So we combine the two, and we're damn good. I'm 62% this year against the spread. Vegas, just to give you guys an idea, is 55, 56, and you're considered good. 52.5% is breaks even. So if I'm 62%, man, I'm having a good run, the last 2 years here. So let's keep the free money train rolling.
So you're hitting some good markets, man. I like that. Like, I like the what's that called in stock when you split up your portfolio? The diversity in it. Yeah, the business plan. I like that because it's like, and go to KevinGootee.com. It's Kevin, and then Gootee spelled a little different. It's like GOOTEE.com. Check out some of his stuff. And clearly, comics watching comics. I'm personally more interested in that, like, as a person. Like, I kind of want to see what you guys are doing on that. You got 8 seasons, so I feel like I kind of want to binge on that personally. Like, that's like what sticks out to me. But I think it's all smart, like what you're doing.
Oh, thanks, man. I'm trying to make stuff happen. I think it's great. I think you'll love it. So the show, Comics Watching Comics, you just kind of been talking about it. To give you the 2-second pitch, think of Last Comic Standing and Mystery Science Theater 3000 in one show.
Right.
That's the show.
No, yeah, no, I love the concept of that. I love both things, comedy and like Mystery Science Theater. Like it's it's fucking cool, and it's like kind of an original idea. Like, but I don't see a lot of people roast or not roast. It's the wrong fucking word. Like, but they're basically run the narrative over like a comedy or something. Being special.
Yeah, it's really to promote comics coming up and it's really to help advance their career and get people like intermediate comics with different exposure, as opposed to just chronic. Again, different ways of exposure is my point. And again, I think the fun part, of course, is the panel in which you see us ball busting each other, and then and we also teach you what it's like to do comedy and just kind of tell you it's not just that easy. So for example, if you ever meet a comedian, don't ever tell them to tell you a joke. That get me telling you guys, what do you do for a living? Oh, you're a marketer? Why don't you give me some fucking flow charts? Like, that's just ridiculous.
No, I agree. Because, like with rappers, I'll ask them to freestyle and shit. But, like, with comedians, I just want to, like, vibe them and get where they're coming from and stuff. Because, like, I do it sometimes with comedians. Like, if I could tell there's that kind of comedian that could just, like that's into that.
How do you tell someone how to be funny, though?
But I knew by your energy and stuff that you're a guy that, I just got, if you want to see my joke, go to my fucking show and stuff. Like, this is a podcast. Let's talk about some shit, Like basically.
Oh, yeah.
That's the kind of guy you seem like.
I did a TV spot yesterday, and a guy goes online. He's like, yeah, tell me a joke. I go, show me your pics. That'll make me laugh. And I kind of threw him off the loop because it's like, oh, this guy's not going to come back. He's like, tell me a joke on air. I'm like, well, I'm not going to tell you a joke on air, dude. It's douchey. But whatever. So we really give you a look into comedy and how it's different and harder than most people think, way harder than people think, and how it's and on the crazy stories that people get involved with while being in comedy. And
it's like beating the fear of public speaking, and then once you beat the fear of public speaking, being funny. It's like. Yeah, it's like the main thing of like people's the average person's fear of like I think most people dread talking in public, and then on top of like having the balls to talk in public, you have to have like something to say.
And then you have to be able to time it right so that way it delivers well.
Yeah, and the crowd like it or hate it, get an emotion somehow. Like who are some of your favorite guys like growing up that you like? Wow, like some people you look up to in the industry almost like back in the day though, like not. Like small
back in the day, Rodney Dangerfield, Sam Kinison, Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock. I mean, growing up, I was in college when he was out, but definitely. And Eddie Murphy Raw. That had to be people of my age. That had to be like the biggest influence of all. Eddie Murphy Raw, Eddie Murphy Delirious. Like I said, Rodney Dangerfield.
Rodney Dangerfield's a huge one for me.
Yeah, without a doubt.
He's going through him and Kinison had the same kind of thing going. Like
Kinison, he got famous and he got unfunny really fast. Like Rodney Dangerfield was fucking funny till the day he died.
Yeah, at least in conversation. He seemed like a guy to be funny in conversation. Like Kinison yelled loud, but he had some good points. His anger of that divorce made him like funny. Like it made him like.
Well, yeah. The thing is, like once he had the money and had the fame, he stopped being funny. Like you see his last special he did. It was fucking trash.
It was like trying to be a rock star and shit.
He just like basically just. It's like like a band like goes out and like they're like, oh, this is a favorite song. He would do that with fucking jokes, and I hate that like type of comedy where it's like kind of like Andrew Dice Clay. Like I like Andrew Dice Clay, but like his thing is like this is his thing is he's gonna tell the Hickory Dickory Dock joke, and that's like his fucking go-to. But that's what like people ask for, I guess. But I just don't really understand that with comedy. Like if you don't have something fucking new to say from the last time I heard you, I don't fucking care.
That's the new style comedy. They put out a special and tore off something new. That's the new style. Yeah, that's what people are doing.
Well, you got to figure with like you know like it sucks that Louis C.K. isn't really doing anything right now because he was like one of the best writers like going out there because he would. I mean, I don't know if you ever watched like the Green Room or anything like that, but he would like basically rewrite he'd rewrite like a new hour like every year, just like George Carlin did.
Yeah.
A lot of comedians will do that. Like, what was that guy Doug Benson? Like basically his jokes were like, oh, how many jokes can we make about weed? And then he just kept telling the same jokes about weed. And then I actually went and saw him, and he did all the jokes that he did in the fucking special I just watched. I'm like, why the fuck would I ever go see you again?
Yeah. I hear that a lot.
It's so funny with comedy. It's different because in music, because with music it's like you go to see a concert and then
you don't want to hear
play some new stuff.
Yeah.
And then when you guys when you see a comedian, they're like, oh, that's the same shit I heard last time. Get right to the material, you fucking hack. Like, that's the difference.
Yeah, and you can't do covers or anything like that. Like, bands just play a cover. Like, Limp Bizkit made a career off just like a cover. I'm not downplaying their other shit. Like, they made it, like, the comedian can't just be like, I'm gonna tell a George Carlin joke or a Bo Burnham joke to you guys. And, like, everyone will be like, what the fuck? He's like, comedians are the harshest critics.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think.
Without a doubt. So, I mean, watch the show, like, the Comics Let You Comics, and you will see, everyone is very tough on with comedy. It's very. You want to get a comic to laugh, it is damn near impossible. So if you happen to get one to laugh, take a bow because it's crazy shit. We are very, very, very jaded and very, very, very hard to please.
And that's comicswatchingcomics.com, and it's Comics Watching Comics also on Amazon. They have the
most judgmental people in the world watching other people, the most judgmental people in the world.
Yeah, but it's smart people want to be cool. Yeah. But are all 8 seasons of Comics Watching Comics on Amazon right now?
Yeah, they are. All 8 are on Prime. So if you have Amazon free, it's free. As well as the live show, which is the showcase I told you about, where the winning comics go on. As well as it's pretty cool too. I also invited people on who ate shit, so we called it Redemption Section, where we invited them on, and they got to do another minute and kind of redeem themselves in the eye of the public. And then right then and there, the crowd right there voted on their favorite comic, redeeming themselves, and they got to do a full set that night. So again, they got the chance to get a redo. And
that's at Gotham Comedy Club?
Yeah, Gotham Comedy Club, right.
Dude, that's a cool fucking idea. I like seeing that. Like, it reminds me kind of like it's a totally fucking different thing. But it reminds, but it's kind of like a production, like how like Ari Shafir's like kind of thing was like the Cheetah in Hollywood. Like he had this like the thing where like it's like a storyteller thing where you have like a theme and then like it's interesting. It's not like it's almost like you're shooting a fucking like TV show. Like you are shooting a TV show. It's on fucking Amazon as a TV show. But I'm saying like. But you're shooting like a show about. It's just interesting, man. Like I think like as a I love comedy, so as a fan of comedy, like, I think that sticks out hell to me. I think that's like interesting and kind of changing the game a little bit. Like,
cool, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. It's trying to get it made. It's different than everything. What I try and do with a lot of my shows is take a pretty common element, but put a hell of a spin on it, make it different than everything else. Just so people can go, oh yeah, it's a lot easier to embrace something that's kind of familiar as opposed to something you're like, well, what the hell is this about? I don't want to sit here and try and figure out 8 episodes in what this is. So,
what are you doing as a job right now? Like, what is your specialty right now as far as like making money?
My day job is I'm a diagnostic sales rep, so medical testing.
I was wondering, like, you seem like a smart guy. I was wondering what it was, because like it seems interesting, like, and to be able to be like. Because like I think the hardest part, honestly, of like basically maintaining a job is like to basically have money, survival and shit, and then to do all these creative projects that may make a bunch of money too, and probably do. I don't know your financial situation, but I'm saying like to have the fucking time is like that's crazy. It's like you're literally doing like an adult job with like fucking like 3 creative ventures going at the same time. And I think that's like I think we're going to be honest about that shit, like how hard people fucking work in this industry.
Where do you draw the line, like where you're like get to a point in right? I mean, I guess you probably don't know it at this point, but like once you get to a certain point in fame, like when are you able to quit your fucking job? Like when do you like say like, all right, this is going to be good enough where I don't have to fucking go to work anymore and have to worry about my resume as far as what my career was before doing comedy stuff like that.
That's an easy answer. When I make as much money as I do right now, as soon as I equal out, I'm out.
Well, yeah, but how long does that last though? 'Cause with any comedian, majority of them, you figure they might get one good special and then you probably won't hear from them again.
Same in general.
I mean, yeah, same in general. I mean, unless you have like a really big name where you're fucking able to. I guess if you get to a point where you're able to pull like auditoriums and.
I think you should make millions of dollars off your fucking projects and keep your fucking job.
Yeah.
Like do fucking both. Like.
So with comedy, for me, I was told like you need to have the more tools you have in your bag, the more attractive you are to the industry agents. That's why I do the podcast, the Gutting the Sacred Cow. That's why I do comics, especially comics. That's why I do, oh Christ, what's the other fucking show? Oh, Fantasy Football Jibber Jabber. Because that way I've got a bunch of things I got to hand in. Because maybe one of those things hopefully get picked up. I'm not gonna just put all my eggs in one basket. Comedy. Because even the best comedians that these people that you've never even heard of, I know them, but you won't know them. And it sucks because they're so great, but just because the way the industry is, you may not ever know who they are just because they put all their money into comic. I also do voiceover, I do shit like that too. So it's like I'm getting all these different things, things to make me attractive. So that way I do have.
I mean, it's a smart way to go.
It's a game. No, it's super fucking respectful.
I mean, anybody here about that's really, successful, like in the type of entertainment type field, they're doing multiple fucking things.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. That's exactly the way people I think are going to make it.
I like the honesty you came at it too, because I think this was lacking in the industry based here. You're like, dude, I'm working my ass off right now. I got a fucking day job. I got 3 projects. I'm killing it right now. I'm like trying to do a bunch of things because like a lot of people think that like it just comes easy and like.
Well, I guess some YouTube followers. I guess they can retire now.
Yeah,
no, bitch, you got to work harder now.
Yeah, you just got hired now.
Yeah, no, and here's the thing. You say I have all these projects as I do. I also have a wife and a kid, so let's also add that to the mix, the list of things to do. So.
No, it is.
Yeah, so now you have somebody that complains about what you're doing too.
I'm gonna.
My wife.
No, good, brother.
Cool. She gets it, and she's very supportive. So it's not that hard to try and get these things going on. It's just a lot of.
That's good, man.
A lot of give and take.
Well, I mean, she fucking asked me today to create a person. I think, man, Like I think any girl could I deal with creative people like us, like anybody's gotta have something going for them,
Yeah, no, she knew the deal. Before we got married, she knew the deal and what to expect. So she's really cool with everything.
I feel like your stories like what Leonard Scarry would say or something like when you're like what are you doing right now? They're like we're doing a bunch of cool shit and we're trying to figure it out. And we're doing and it's just like honesty rather than all that fucking like muddy water bullshit that no one relates to. We're just like, I'm just like the best comedian. Look at that. It's just like it's all ego rather than content, which is cool. And like you're not like.
Well, that is a lot of comics. They definitely have no self awareness. They don't know the limitations. They think they're higher up than what they are, and those are the people that are going to get picked off fastest. And again, I don't know. Any modicum of success I have maybe is because of that, but that's one thing I'm going to hold true to the bitter end.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of hard to say. That can work. I feel like that can work, but you have to already have, like, it established that you're successful. They come out and be like, oh, I'm fucking awesome. But then you almost have to kind of, like, play against yourself. Like, you're almost being sarcastic about, like, saying that you're awesome.
Yeah, like a Kurt Cobain kind of way. But I think, like, I think there's so many ways up the hill. And I'm just interested in, like, kind of like I definitely away from like the anti-hero kind of thing. Yeah. It's like that's interesting as fuck. Like Kurt Cobain. Like,
I've lived my life as an anti-hero, so I mean, it works.
And like I think it's just like
the best comic is David Tell, and I see that you see David Tell all the time in the West Village. You can't miss it because he's a comic seller. He's the nicest guy in the world, but he's an absolute beast on the stage. There is no one out there right now better than David Tell, and you could not find a nicer, more humbler, cooler dude. He will talk to you if you are one day in a comedy or 25 years in the comedy. The nicest guy in the world, and that's what you should model yourself after is him.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, all the attributes you named and how you view and how I view entertainment, I think basically, like, once you start thinking you're important, like, I think you can't create art. Like, you're so focused on, like, what imaginary people are going to think or, like, what people are going to think, rather than just being like, okay, why did I get into this? I got into this, I fucking, like, want to do dope shit. I mean, or whatever the reason is. I mean, and, like, it's hard to, like, take yourself seriously when you know that you're marketing yourself also. It's like when people are just like, oh, like what you did something awesome. I'm like, I mean, I marketed that. Like, I mean, like, it's not like somebody like, I don't know, it's not like a friend or something. It's weird. It's like I don't know.
It's an odd way of selling yourself because you're selling like a joke.
Yeah.
And the joke like a big factor.
That's for sure.
Would you consider like your comedian thing as like a character, or is that just you on stage? Like,
no, it's me, but there's a lot of. So I mean, I don't know if I have that.
It's an exaggerated
the clean cut corporate look, so I play off that. But I was also the former fraternity guy, but I also can, I'm not a dumb fraternity guy. I got jokes. I'm smart. At least I think I am. But whatever. And I read, so it's like I call myself the cerebral fraternity guy. That's what I am. So I'm not a character. I'm me, but there's different. I like to show my different facets off when I'm out there on stage or on my shows. I'm just more than the blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy who thinks is just the jock. Not really, but just the guy who's a bunch of things, different things, and you see it all my act and everything else, my shows and everything.
Yeah, we're all just people doing shit.
Are you coming through St. Louis anytime soon?
Say that again?
Are you coming through St. Louis anytime soon?
I am not coming to St. Louis anytime soon. I don't want to get murdered, so that's why.
Don't be a bitch.
New York City's got way more murders.
Don't be a bitch. Nah, I don't want to get shanked by the arch. No, I'd love to come to St. Louis. You guys have any ins at the clubs there? Want to do a live comics watching comics? I'm your fucking guy. So
the clubs suck here. I feel like the clubs suck.
No, I mean, did we do like the pageant or something? Or,
the pageant be dope, yeah.
Or even Helium isn't a bad club. Like they have the Funny Bone. Like it's a pretty big name place.
Yeah, but I feel like
I'm Peter. I feel like St. Louis and whatnot.
No, St. Louis is awesome for different reasons. I was just saying, I feel like the comedy scene in St. Louis sucks, but I feel like there's more murders in New York City though. Like, I was worried about that. You're like saying you get murdered here. Like the rate of violent crimes in New York City definitely exceeds St. Louis.
Well, the reason people get murdered in fucking St. Louis is because people from the fucking county come out here and fucking run their mouths to fucking drug dealers when they're drunk, and then they get shot, and then it's so dangerous there. Like, well, maybe learn who to fucking not fuck with. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the wise thing. Don't talk shit to people who hang on the street slinging crap.
You gotta be street smart to live around.
I think New York's the same city, honestly. That's what I was trying to get to. I think basically, like, New York's a bigger version of St. Louis, like, clearly in numbers and blah. But I think it's the same kind of, it's all broken into towns. It's like this whole thing. It's like the media's like, oh, it's scary. Like, every major city's scary, and every rural town's got meth. And, like, I think, like, it's all about, like, I think you do good here, because, like, so I think New York City for a comic is hard mode, which where, like, especially doing the Gotham, that's like New
York City is fucking huge in comparison to St. Louis.
So many millions of people, versus 300,000.
The thing is, like, even in St. Louis is like it depends on what fucking street you're on or what block you're on. I mean, you could be 2 neighborhoods over from a place that is completely opposite of where you're living. There's $1 million houses, and then there's fucking Section 8 fucking mile away. It's like what the fuck is going on here?
No, it's like listen, Manhattan's very cleaned up now. It's a lot of it's still super safe, but again, the boroughs, different story. In some parts of Manhattan, like uptown, you still got to watch yourself, but it's not near as bad as it was back in the day. But no, there are still some plenty.
Both of the towns got bad rap, but they got a bunch of artists and cool people doing shit. I think this is an awesome thing in my opinion. I think and it's fun to flex on cities. I can make fun of any fucking town in the fucking entire United States probably, but I think ultimately, if I'm being truthful, I think basically like there's so much talent in different ways. Like I think I think it's cool. Like the comedy in St. Louis is kind of like niche-y and like kind of annoying. But if you had like a couple good comedians come out, it'd probably be awesome. It's just like, but I feel like
there's a few comedians that come out here.
Yeah, but it's just niche-y. Like the local scene more or less. It's just like kind of like, oh I'm only for my friends on mics. I'm not gonna put myself on there. Like
I mean, there's I can't remember her fucking goddamn name now, but she's been on a bunch of stuff. She had a Netflix special come out so long ago. Cute girl. She actually she's from Kirkwood, which is pretty close to St. Louis.
That's basically the same county, I think.
But no, I mean she had really good stand up. Like she's been on a bunch of different shit. Fuck, I can't remember her name for the life of me now. But
Joan Rivers.
Yep.
No, not Joan.
First try.
No, she's she's young. She's like early 30s. Like she's like 34, 35. Like she's like my age. But no, she was from this area though.
She's not as close as funny as Kevin.
She's been on Joe Rogan's podcast. She's been on a bunch of different shit that was on Netflix. Yeah. She's had a special that was on Netflix not too long ago. It is basically all like jokes about being a slut, but I mean, I like sluts, so I mean.
Glazer?
Yes.
Nikki Glazer's from St. Louis?
Yeah.
I didn't know she's from St. Louis.
Yeah. She was actually on the radio here not so long ago too.
Kevin, you got your second guess, man.
Yeah.
Well,
but no, I do like her.
Funny comic. That's pretty. That's she's one of the known for telling slutty jokes, which is fine.
Yeah,
she's cute too. She's funny.
That's her thing.
Yeah, Alec Baldwin most.
Yeah, it's like you hear like a bunch of dudes like hear like a pretty girl talking about like being a slut, like oh fuck yeah, But no, I actually think she is pretty funny. Like a lot, even though they are like slut jokes, they're pretty smart. Like as far as that goes, you know.
Yeah.
As your podcast counselor, like, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Not doing shows like these anymore. No, just kidding.
All right, well, get the fuck
I
off.
don't know, man. It's so weird. Like, here's the thing. Like I said, this March will be my 10-year comedy anniversary. And if you would have pulled me aside 10 years ago when I first started, I go, guess what? You're going to have a show on Amazon. You're going to have a podcast. You're going to do voiceover. I had no idea about doing voiceover. You know, it's just stuff like that. I have no idea. I'm just hoping that, to answer your question, I'm just hoping that one of these shows gets picked up and I'm good to go that way. That's what I'm hoping.
I've always been curious. How do you get into doing voiceovers? Like, I've always thought that'd be fun to do, but like.
Yeah, so here's your answer. I had no idea. I had a few people in comedy because, again, when you're in comedy, a lot of people do a bunch of different things, acting, comedy, waitressing, whatever the fuck. And there are a few people are like, hey, man, you've got a good voice. Did anyone ever tell you you should do voiceover? I'm like, no, not really. And then one night after a gig, another guy, we're waiting for the subway, and he's like, dude, you should really do voiceover. I'm like, you're like the fourth person who told me that. Like, look, here's the story. I go to this guy. He's my voiceover coach. He's really good. He won't. He's very opinionated gay dude. He's not going to take your money if you suck. He'll tell you flat out if you got the goods or not. He won't waste your time. Go check him out. So give the guy a call. He's like, all right, come over to my place in Brooklyn. Check, and we'll do a few run throughs and we'll do whatever. And he's like, no, man, you're really good. You got some talent there. Obviously, you got to get coached up, but you definitely have the goods to make something happen. So I did that, did an coaching session, did an audition reel, laid out a few demo tracks with him. He does my reels, and then next thing you know, I start doing online stuff. And you meet people who have tie-ins for Jesus Christ, what am I trying to spit out of my mouth here? Agent like
network is what you're saying. Fucking network with the right people.
Yeah, they send you the auditions, the agencies and shit. So that's how you get into it, kind of, sort of.
What's some of the voiceover stuff you've done so far?
I've done Muslim and Applesauce. I've done Trident Gum that had over like 10 million views. Hell of a Good Onion Dip. I've done a bunch of those for HBC Bank, Amex, Auto Trader. That's another one I've done. So it's
how much it's just like an average. Like, what do they pay for like voiceover jobs like that?
Wait, you got both you guys talking at once. I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. What's like an average, like what you get paid for like the voiceover type jobs like that? Like for like commercials and shit like that.
I'm not being dodgy. It really depends. Some of them you make like a couple $100. Some of you make like a couple thousand on. Depends. If you're a union, you get a lot. If you're a union, you get a lot more. But then again, you have to be in the union, which limits.
You gotta pay that fee.
Non-union, you have more fluidity to do whatever you want because you're non-union. But when you're union,
right.
A lot of people don't want to pay union dues and shit. So
yeah, especially if you're not. Yeah, like you probably could because you're doing a lot of commercial work. It sounds like, but a lot of people it's probably not in their best interest to do SAG. They're only doing like a fucking like. I'm assuming we're talking about SAG work, but
the rule is this. The rule is this. Don't join the union until you're absolutely 100% forced to join it.
Yeah, until they can like do something for you, really. Because like ultimately, artists are just doing shit for themselves, and it's much a company trying to profit off artists doing it for shit for themselves. You know, it's like I don't know, I've been in a couple movies, and if I could, like, I've never doing SAG. I feel like I don't know.
I don't like being a part of groups. So.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to hang out with fucking like pedophiles in Hollywood. And, like,
There's like 4 dudes who got nailed. He's like, but all dudes in Hollywood are pedophiles.
No, not all dudes, just people in the movie industry more or less. It seems like I'm not saying there's a lot of homeless selection of people there too. Skid Row, like that's close to Hollywood. 17,000 homeless people or something. I feel like New York's better. I feel like Chicago's better. I feel like you know what I mean. I feel like LA's kind of washed up. The film industry went to Atlanta. It's an old dream, you know. I think you're in the right city for where you're going. Is what I'm saying. Like.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm glad I am. So that's
an international hub. I mean, fucking like that's why you're like, and you have good projects and shit. It seems like. I mean, I need to fucking tear through your comic shit on Amazon. I fucking love Amazon Prime, and I'm not much into football and shit, to be honest with you. But I'll definitely. What is Gutting the Sacred Cow about? Like your podcast, you mentioned it a couple times. Like what kind of stuff do you do with that? Like to like the listeners more so, but I'm curious.
Gutting the Sacred Cow is a movie podcast because I'm a movie snob and I love talking shop about films with other buddies. So here's the show. So it's myself and my buddy Kevin Israel. He's another comic, and what we do is we invite other comedians on, and their job is there are 3 criteria to pick a film. The first criteria is it has to be a well-known film. The second one being it has to be a well-loved film, or the third, it has to be a critically acclaimed film. So one of those it has to be. So what the comic shop is going to do is come in and tell us why one of those the film that fits one of those criteria is overrated or flat out sucks. So they're, in a sense, they're gutting the sacred cow. So they have to come in. So here's what happens. People have come in and said and argued why Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade is not that good, or why Batman Begins is not that good, or why Star Wars Episode 4 is not that good. So they have to convince us that to see their argument and again say why that this film sucks and gut that sacred cow. That's the podcast.
I mean, you could probably do that with like anything though. Like, no matter how fucking good it is, you could always tear apart something.
Well, perception, sorry. I mean, some people like Forrest Gump.
But the hard part again is coming after stuff that's so well loved. Like again, like the last couple episodes we had, Scarface was one of them, which I hate that fucking film, but whatever. But people, Spaceballs. My one buddy came and did Spaceballs. People love Spaceballs, and you know, some people got up in arms. Like, how do you attack Spaceballs? Well, again, I think that one sucks too, but whatever. But Star Wars, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Batman Begins. I'm like, come on, give me a break. So, but again, that's the whole point is to get people to see the differences and have the balls to go up against and say that a well-known or well-successful or well-awarded film sucks.
Yeah, it's like shit on your hero, so you're your own fucking hero, basically. You're like, fuck your shit, watch my movie, motherfucker. That's a good concept, not for that. I mean, I just said it in a dumb way, but I think like you actually have content to what you're doing. It's kind of cool. Or I like that. Basically, just movies that everybody loves and shit. So it's kind of funny to go after that. But through social media out and shit, and we get out of here and stuff, man. Like, I'll read the links real fast. Like, go to comicswatchingcomics.com or go to Comics Watching Comics on Amazon Prime. They have 8 seasons there. Go to fantasyfootballjibberjabber.com for fantasy football talk. Go to Kevin.
We don't hold on. We don't have a website for fantasyfootballjibberjabber.com. We have all the social medias on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter for fantasy football jibber jabber. For Gutting the Sacred Cow, same story. No website, just all the socials. Gutting the Sacred Cow, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's Gutting the. It's too many letters. And Comics Watching Comics has a website. KevinGootee.com website, and of course all the socials: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Fantasy Football Jibber Jabber is also a podcast, so you can watch us do our picks and graphics, but you can also listen to us as well. So
cool. We'll do everything Kevin fucking said, and thanks for coming on the show, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, good talking to you, man.
Guys, thanks for having me. I appreciate the time. Thanks again.
Likewise, man.
Take care, guys. Later.